actually one, though it can be repaired, right? But cannot be pillaged. Removed select unit ability from the tavern. Okay. Yeah, irrelevant actually. Doesn't matter who's hiring it so long as it is hiring. Fixed an issue where heroes select and inventory keys were not detecting conflicts. Oh, nice. This was a find from Arthas. From Arthas. There's a sub in my channel. True Arthas? He found this. And I forwarded this. Oh, True King. True King. It's you, True King. Yeah. Added nether... you use the Arthas emote so much. The Arthas emote so much, True King, that I actually thought of you as Arthas. I thought of you as Grub Arthas. Added nether dragon roost to neutral buildings. MMR gains and losses are now doubled in multiplayer. There are extra notes in the master change list explaining MMR changes. Okay. General P... Whoa! Holy! Can you believe this, Logan? That's big. Piercing damage against heavy armor decreased from 100% damage to 90%. Oh my god. That's 10%. That's a massive change. As many of you may know, piercing damage dominates in Warcraft 3, and many heavy armor units that should be, in theory, countering piercing units are not doing so appropriately. The Warcraft 3 counters are pretty soft sometimes. So, like, we're living in a game, in a world where riflemen beat grunts. Riflemen beat torrents. There is no torrent rush that exists that can beat mass rifle with no other units. Grunts, mass grunt shaman, only barely beat archers. Mass archer, just mass archers. You could go 20 grunts and people are not going to counter it with talents or chimera. They'll just make more archers. It was pretty crazy. And headhunters, of course, beat footmen. Headhunters often beat grunts. Abominations are not beating rifles like they used to back in 2003 when people's micro was worse. Very interesting. 10% damage reduction. Am I saying that right? Or is it like 11? I don't know. But it's pretty big. So, wait. That means ghouls are getting better against headhunters as well. Maybe that's okay. Wait. Oh my god. Wyverns are worse against ghouls. Wyverns are worse against ghouls. Ghouls are weak as hell? Yeah, except when you're happy, right? Or Jesus. Same thing. Yeah, for most people, ghouls are weak. Bears counter wyverns even more than before? That's interesting. What other piercing are common? We sometimes have some rifle or headhunter against bears. Interesting. I like the change though. I like it. Fix the crash that occurred when selecting a structure that had its construction or production paused. Yeah. If you frozen breathed or if you stopped building a farm or your building was frozen breath, if you clicked it, it did some kind of probably multiplication by 0 because the build time was infinite and it made the game crash when you clicked it and saw it. Huntress glaives will no longer bounce to and from structures. I heard about this suggestion before. So now Huntress can no longer be used to murder peasants and peons that are repairing buildings. I personally don't like this change. I think Huntress are still pretty niche. Even despite the heavy armor buff, which I thought was going to be dominating, but I don't think it is dominating, actually. I think Huntress, just like Mutalisks in StarCraft, their special niche is that they're really good at base trading and killing workers. Not bouncing to and from structures, I think is a L change, a boring change, that makes them so much worse. I don't think it's an unexpected mechanic for newer players. I think, look, liquid fire, bat riders prevent repair, and you can think of Huntress as preventing repair or having high attrition on your workers if you actually do repair. They're too easy to play anyway. Yeah, but I think Huntress games are quite fun from both sides. It gives them a special personality. Enemy dead units will now inherit upgrades they had when they were killed. The team is aware of an issue where passives are not being transferred upon reanimation. Reminder, we tested this last time. This means you can Blood Castle, or Blood Fortress anyway. You can animate dead a peon and build a Great Hall. And the animate dead 40-second timer will get paused while he's building. So he can finish the Great Hall and then do another 35 seconds of things. It's pretty sick. Brew Master Breath of Fire damage over time. Okay. I still don't like what they did to Breath of Fire. I'm gonna make a very, very rough drawing. There's better drawings out there. There's better artists out there than I am. But basically, they made some changes where they quote-unquote fixed Breath of Fire. Breath of Fire looks like it is this big. But it was actually this big. And they said this was an error, so now they made it this big. And in order to compensate for how much smaller it is, they will give it 10 bonus damage. Or in other words, something like, I don't know, 12%. So I don't think that's an accurate recompense for this massive reduction of area that is now lost. So it got significantly worse. And it was quite important to deal with Paladin Rifle for Orc in the current meta. It's Farseer, Panda, and then Shadow third, or Firelord third, but usually Shadow these days. Brewmaster got a lot faster, so they're like, hey, he's going to be in a better position for it. I think they're fixing something that didn't need fixing. I think they should just make the animation bigger. It's true that the discrepancy between visual effect of the ability and the actual effect is very confusing for players if you're not already familiar with it, which is what a grandfathered player would be familiar with, but a new player would not. So it is new player friendly, but it's not adequate recompense. And they could have just tried to make the animation bigger, but maybe that's harder than just to reduce the area. I don't know. Yeah, I think it should remain as big as it was, make the graphic bigger. Custom game lobby advertisements now time out. This is all changes. So this is with all from before. Okay, so it's not actually that big of a note. The biggest one being heavy armor now taking less damage from piercing. Very interesting. Yeah, I'm curious to check it out. Okay, guys, remember to leave me comments if you would be interested in some League content as well on this Grubby Talks channel, and also just giving you a little bit of information. If you haven't seen it yet, Warcraft 3 is coming to Game Pass. There's a video that I will link. There's a video that I will link so that you can watch it. This is actually on the official World of Warcraft channel, which is kind of cool. I cooked this up in secret, and we released this video 4 days ago. And also, if you're interested in Heroes of the Storm, they have a new patch today as well. So, Blizzard, Activision, Microsoft games are eating pretty well. Looks like there are a lot of changes. When I get back to HOTS, I'll be curious to see some of these. They're working on all the games. It's very cool to see. Okay, see you. Bye.
Pirate Software is quitting, and he kinda lied about why. But before we jump in, we do need to talk about something. The Stop Killing Games initiative has passed the 1 million signature goal. This is huge. Like, genuinely, thank you to everybody that reached out, that watched videos, like anybody's videos, that pushed this out to the people that needed to get these signatures. If you reached out to people or if you signed yourself, thank you. This initiative was stuck at 460,000 signatures just 10 days ago. And in just those 10 days, we were able to reach that goal of 1 million signatures. But do not take this pat on the back from me or anybody else lightly. We still need more signatures. As it stands, you know, there is a very good potential that people from the US that were using VPNs might have tried to sign this, that there were duplicate signatures, and that there are going to be some that are thrown out. So if we want to make sure that this stays above that million goal, we need new people to keep signing. So again, I will leave a link in the description to this website so that you can sign the EU petition as well as the UK petition as well, which is at 136,000 signatures, but getting more isn't going to hurt. We still have this deadline ending very shortly here, I believe in 2 weeks. Yes, right here, deadline 14th of July. But let's get back to what's happening with Pirate Software. So just last night, Pirate put out this tweet here: I am no longer working at Off-Brand Games. People were attacking all of the games we were publishing and trying to mass review bomb them. You can dislike the things I say, but this kind of behavior is unhinged. Learned a lot there, accomplished a lot, hope they succeed regardless, love those dudes and love working with them, hope they keep cooking. And for those of you who don't know, Off-Brand Games is a game publisher, and they're known, I think most well-known for Rivals of Either 2, which of course is a sequel to Rivals of Either, a very well-known fighting game similar to Smash Brothers in that style. Now this publisher was founded by a couple of people, including Ludwig, who most people know. Now to be more specific, so Off-Brand is originally a live production company, and it launched this Off-Brand Games unit. So pretty much, you know, like a branch of it. And this happened just a little over a year ago. This was back in June of 2024. And Pirate Software was hired on to play a big role in Off-Brand Games as the company's new director of strategy. Now this is a blast from the past, but I actually have a privated video when I was doing gaming news and game reviews like videos before I did the drama content of me covering this exact news story. Here's a little clip from that, and I think it's useful to show you guys to understand, you know, a bit of the change in perspective that I've had about Pirate over this last year. Ludwig, in my opinion, hired one of the best people for the job to make sure that something terrible doesn't arise from this publishing company. And that's because Pirate Software, the Pirate Software, has accepted the role and position of director of strategy for Off-Brand Games. So yeah, I'm very stoked, obviously, but all in all, regardless of if there's going to be hiccups along the way to start this, as it is a new publishing company entering the sphere of gaming, but I don't think that you could have found a better person to get started and to direct for strategy in a publishing company than the Thor. It's a match made in heaven, and when I found out about it, I genuinely got very excited. Yeah, so you can tell my perspective has shifted a bit about Pirate Software, drastically even. As a matter of fact, he was one of the first people that I attempted to reach out to ask for advice about how to make a better YouTube channel. Legitimately, Pirate Software and Ludwig both had very huge impacts on me starting my career as like trying to be a YouTuber. And unfortunately, they have been the two people that I've been talking about the most in like the last 2 weeks. But a specific thing that I had said, that I didn't think that they could have found a better person to be in the role that they put Thor in. Well, now they have to find somebody. But let's get back to the intro of this video. Pirate Software lying about this quitting. What do I mean by that? Now I want to specify, because he actually addresses this in a follow-up reply. For those trying to say this is now somehow a lie, he talks about this. We're going to get into this part, but this here at the bottom is the thing I want to address first. He says, overall sentiment was to bash the games and the developers working on them to try to get back at me. Not worth bringing them down for my opinion. Also stop it, get some help. So this not worth bringing them down for my opinion, I think he genuinely means that. That is the part that I do not think he is lying about whatsoever. That's usually what ends up happening with these things. If one person that's a part of a company ends up getting a ton of flack, they'll step away because they don't want the entire thing to burn down, or the company itself doesn't want itself to burn down because they have this individual that's under so much hot water. But the thing that people are pointing out is this intro of his tweet here. People were attacking all of the games we were publishing and trying to mass review bomb them. Now, when you think of mass review bombs, a lot of people will think about stuff like Overwatch 2 hitting Steam, for example, mostly negative, 346,000 reviews. There was a huge huge mass review bombing of Overwatch 2, and admittedly, I think good part of it was because they deserved it. But there were some folks that actually did some research to see what was going on with this mass review bombing. Also, really quick here, if you guys aren't subscribed and you're enjoying the content from the last couple of days, if you could consider giving this a subscribe, you guys are the reason that I get to do this, that I'm getting to do this full time. I am genuinely so grateful, even if you're not going to subscribe or like the video, that you're just watching. Like seriously, just a few short weeks ago, it felt like I was circling the drain, and I've recently started to try to redouble that. This is the Bonnie Bear Saves Frog Time demo. There
Ja. Digga, wie kann man sich denn so viel Mühe geben? Junge, weniger Recherche, mehr Ertrag. Hat der Typ das immer noch nicht verstanden?
Andere Bücher habe ich in dem internen BIP-System auch digital durchforstet und kann einfach immer noch nicht sagen, ob das jetzt mit der Flucht zutrifft oder nicht, weil ich weder die besagten Zitate finden konnte, noch konnte ich eine Quelle finden, welche eine Flucht als Grund zum Ruhen ausschließt, obwohl ich doch unmöglich
Frag doch Solveig, er ist auch so
der
klug.
Erste sein kann, der sich diese scheiß Frage gestellt hat. ChatGPT ist sich immer noch sicher, dass die Zitate in irgendwelchen Büchern oder Beschlüssen zu finden sind und dass das juristischer Konsens sei, dass die Flucht ins Ausland zum Ruhen der
It's been almost 10 years since I covered Warcraft 3. I've decided to play through it again to see if I've changed my position on it. Nah, it's still about people fighting slowly. The backstory until Warcraft 3. I'll just be using the 3 manuals for the backstory lore, because the wiki, someone had the audacity to add stuff from their fanfiction called Shadowlands. This is the planet Azeroth. On it was one island that had tall, sexy purple people. Then one day demons showed up, so they blew it up. 10,000 years later nearly, on another planet, a red demon approached this one orc named Ner'zhul. He said,
Hey,
"Something we doing?"
wanna join my demonic legion?
Double.
Never mind, kid, you're old news. That guy.
Oh, me?
You are a star, baby. Unite the orcs.
Gul'dan was his name, and he did that. Then one day, he received a call.
Greetings, Gul'dan. The name's Medivh, most powerful guy like ever. I have a 16-step plan that starts with us opening a portal for you to invade my planet with an orc army.
Alright then, War Chief Flickind, awake the others. Warcraft 1. The orcs invade. They crush their pathetic defenses, lose a baby, and then win. Hey, we've defeated the humans?
Yes, I heard you took out 1 city out of 40.
Out of 40?
Correct. Now... Gul'dan! I've been stabbed!
Weren't you the most powerful guy like ever?
That doesn't make you stab-proof, fool!
Well, how could this day get any worse? Boss, the war chief has been beheaded. You've lost all your influence. Oh no! Meanwhile, in Lordaeron, so a bunch of these green guys show up out of nowhere. Say no more, I'm putting together a crew. We'll have a both guy, a tech guy, a femme fatale. We'll call it the Alliance. Warcraft 2. 6 years after the events of the first game, the orcs have learned naval warfare. Half of them decides to open a demon's tomb. The other half decide you can't become a naval power in 6 years. Well, that was easy. We've reached their base. We should probably lay siege. I'm gonna go parlay. Anduin Lothar! He just went in. They forced the orcs back into the portal, and then Khadgar nukes it from space. Warcraft 2 expansion. They rebuilt the portal that easily. Wow, Khadgar. You're a pretty shit wizard. My king, they've rebuilt the portal. I'm putting together a crew. Wizard, ranger, mercenary, paladin. The crew entered the orc world, so they blew it up.
My dude, you blew everything up. Yeah, Blend's dead.
Zog.
Yeah, you're like a war chief of the... Whoa! Yo!
Puts him in ice. Now he's the Lich King, king of the undead. Back on Azeroth, the remaining orcs stop being angry and get all depressed. The wizard Antonidas has an idea why. My boys, what if there are 2 twin demon babes? And then the head demon said, you can have their bathwater, and then he gave the orcs their bath salts. Makes sense to me. Remember the lost baby? His name is Thrall. He was found and raised by a human who laughs menacingly in the dark, escapes by catapult, finds the last fighting orc, Grom Hellscream. Then, after dressing up like a dwarf and flirts with a woman to get a free shield, the other orc clans are like, whoa, we need that drive, let's make him war chief. Now we are here, Warcraft 3, Campaign 1, Prologue, Blizzard presents Warcraft. No, it literally isn't. They're just running towards each other. No formations or anything. Then it starts raining chaos. Oh, I get it. Okay, now the tactics make sense. It was just a thrall's dream. War Chief, listen to the emotionless Blizzard employee to find me. Tutorial time. Learn how to walk. Greetings, Thrall. Hello, human. I am not a human. Oh? Hello, bird who can turn into human? No, you need to travel east to the lands of Kalimdor. Because of the rock people? No, demons. Rocks who can turn into demons? No, just go, War Chief. Time to learn how to build a base. This is the only time you will learn this, so you better learn it now. We're building one for a clan meeting. But Grom Hellscream has yet to arrive. The human
We interrupt your scheduled programming with a new transmission from Nike Football. Welcome to the home of terrifying skill.
Introducing the Nordic Nightmare!
Free psychic readings with Alexia.
We're selling brand new skills no one's ever seen before.
Don't just beat them. Give them nightmares.
Visible GG.
Has been slain.
Oh.
Has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
It's okay. We believed in ourselves.
Enemy double kill.
You should never believe in yourself. Just like my dad said. I'm glad that I did anyway. I'm just kidding, my dad never said that. He said, I never believe in you. I'm just kidding, he didn't say that either. He said, would you like a McDonald's hamburger? I said, yes. He said, how many? I said, 4. He said, okay, I'll be right back. I go back to sleep, I wake up at 1, McDonald's hamburger. This is a true story. Okay. Yo, thanks for the prime. Fuckers. I would have easily won that one-on-one. 3-man, and we just got the Void Grubs. Oh wait, that was 2 minutes ago. Well, I think we should get something in another lane, surely. Because otherwise that feels really bad.